try to register that again.
Maybe here?
Hi, welcome to the third edition of URI TV's Campus Beat. I'm Shannon Moss.
And I'm Mark Philbin. This is our third week of programming, and we'd like to welcome you back, but we'd also like to apologize for being a little late with the news, but that's the hazards of watching public access cable, I guess.
Right.
The state's Board of Governors for Higher Education met at URI somewhat recently. Just what the meeting was all about, we're not too sure. That's partly because the meeting was kind of complicated, but it's mostly because we didn't stay too long. If you've ever been to one of those meetings, you know it's pretty boring. But we did understand some of what went on. The board discussed possible cuts from next year's budget, and they said some of the money could be taken out of personnel.
It's somewhere around 2%. If you normally would have run this place, you never have to give the whole system $125 million, because 2% of that is never going to get spent because somebody is coming or going or dying or retiring.
Since 1989, the number of personnel at URI has decreased from about 1,811 to 1,747.
64 positions that have been taken off, and we always want to be precise now, taken off the general revenue. No.
Now, next year we'll probably see an increase in tuition and admissions, but there's probably likely to be a decrease in the number of faculty here at the school. And while the Board of Education is worried about the school's budget, there are also concerns about college drinking habits.
Due to URI's new drinking policies, students are heading down the line. Campus Beat's Jennifer Dugas tells us why the town of Narragansett wants this to stop.
Loud music, dancing, and alcohol. 3 essentials for the college experience? Not if the town of Narragansett has anything to say about it. Narragansett police say that new, tougher drinking policies at the University of Rhode Island are forcing students off campus. Chief of Police John O'Donnell says that the town has many concerns.
Noise. Large parties, houses consisting probably of anywhere from 50 to 200, 300 students, parking problems, late hour noise when they're leaving the establishments, cluttering the neighborhood with litter, and causing parking problems.
Police say they responded to 26 loud parties last weekend, most of which were concentrated in the Eastward Look and Bonnet Shores areas. 6 arrests were made on the grounds of disorderly conduct, misstating age, and public urination. Now Narragansett police want URI to take action.
Send out a memorandum to incoming students in regards to behavioral patterns of what is expected of them while they're attending URI as far as on-campus activity and off-campus living.
The question now is whether URI has a duty to discipline students off the college campus. Assistant Vice President of Campus Life, Tom. Question now is whether URI has a duty to discipline students off the college campus. Assistant Vice President of Campus Life, Tom Dugan, does not think that this is the case.
The jurisdiction does not extend off our campus, unless it's obviously a university-sponsored event off campus.
Dugan says he will write students letters reminding them of the laws and their responsibility towards the community.
Although URI will not take action down the line, it doesn't mean that this position won't be reconsidered in the future. For URI TV, this is Jennifer Dugas.
This week's Spotlight, Campus Beat's Karen Dolan spoke with Victor Capellan and Henry Ponciano of LASA, Latin American Students Association. Capellan said that LASA, formed in 1980, was begun by students who wanted to promote the Latino culture and educate the campus.
It was started by a group of students. We broke off from the organization URI, which was the minority organization at the present time, and we broke off from them and formed the Latin American Students Association.
Capellan went on to say that LASA represents about 21 different Latin American cultures.
Puerto Ricans, Colombians, Venezuelans, Mexicans.
The The LASA organization started with 10 to 15 members and is presently 40 students strong, Ponciano said, offering several educational activities.
Forums. And we also have, which is our big event during the year, it's Latino Awareness Month, which takes place in April. And that's where we try to, display as much as we can about our culture.
Capellan also describes some of the activities LASA's held this semester. The main point Capellan and Ponciano want to stress is that LASA is not just for Latinos, and when wishing to learn about the Latin American culture is welcome.
The difference between the Spanish culture from Spain and the Latino culture. We also had a speaker on the difference between universities in Latin America and universities here in the United States.
The main point Capellan and Ponciano want to stress is that the LASA is not just for Latinos, and when wishing to learn about the Latin American culture is welcome.
You can find us here in room 340 in Moore Union, or they can feel free to call anytime. Number is 792-2098, and basically just come to a meeting.
While we're waiting for our next story to be queued up, which is on a Native American art exhibit.
Wasn't that held a few weeks ago?
By the time this is shown, yeah, it will be a few weeks ago. Are we ready? Okay, we're ready.
We're ready.
Take tape. The university's honors program and the Rhode Island Indian Council put on an exhibit a few weeks ago now in the Union Ballroom. The exhibit of Native American art kicked off a series of educational events at URI aimed at creating awareness of Native American culture and expression. That looks like President Eddie.
Yeah, it does.
What can you see? Blood run red. Mercy, please cut off my head. Had my heart in your pocket. Get out, then you drop it. My poor heart broke in two. You left me cold, my heart turned blue. Then all we lose our way, and every dawn starts again. Live and learn to live.
We've all got some time. Oops. A little Kendall Green music there for you. Some of the artists featured at the exhibit were from New York, Oklahoma, as well as New England. The president of Ireland, Mary Robinson, was in Rhode Island this month. She spoke at Brown University on October 19th. Brown's president, Vartan Gregorian, welcomed Robinson and praised her for her commitments to education, fairness, and equal rights.
A career in law led you not just to attend Trinity College in Dublin, but to become, at age 24, the youngest professor in the school's history. Your commitment to fairness, to the rights of the poor, and to the common good of the Irish people led you not just to a career in law, but to a life of service in government as well.
Robinson spoke to the crowd at Brown about women's rights and historical milestones toward attaining women's equality. She also discussed some of the obstacles she faced and how she overcame them.
Progress is not a symmetrical matter. Freedom does not come in round numbers. We know that there is a great deal of work ahead. If women are to have the opportunity to make a contribution commensurate with their visions and talents. Through my own work as a lawyer, through my experience in the home and at my workplace, and as a member of the Irish Senate. More importantly, through the continual meetings I have had as President of Ireland with women right across the political and economic divide in my own country, I can confirm that there has never been a more exciting time for a woman to offer her abilities to society. Many of us here today have seen the development of freedoms and opportunities for women, which were simply not foreseen when we were younger, or whose presence is now happily taken for granted by a new generation, by those young faces I saw at the back as I came in this afternoon, by my own daughter, aged 19. Many of us have rejoiced in the emergence of the right answers. Today, here and now, I feel I should take this opportunity to urge on us all, on myself as well as on you, that we continue to ask the right questions.
No, that wasn't her entire speech, just
Seemed like it.
a little bit of it, but it was very interesting. I've seen a bunch of clips from it, and she had some good stuff to say. Yeah, she's a really good speaker.
Well, the Beatles have been touring the area. No, not the Fab Four, but the Tenacious Two. Chris Sousa and J.P. McCormick, two of URI TV's funny men, take their comedy on the road, with stops like Nick's Comedy Stop in Boston and URI's own Café de la Tête.
Susan, we are the Beatles, yes. The other day, I'm sitting in the market, and this pinhead walks over to me and wants to know where the cottage cheese is. So I'm sitting there working.
Standard comedian. It's late. I'm running late. JP is once again happy for more laughs. Excuse me. All of a sudden, he notices a strange man standing next to him on the stage, talking about it as if he weren't even in the room.
You know, you're talking about me like I'm not even in the room.
But the strange man just continues. JP becomes very aggravated and slaps the man on the back of the head.
Get off the stage, pal. I'm trying to tell a joke, okay?
But the strange man just continues to ramble on about absolutely nothing in a strange, bizarre voice. All of a sudden, JP forcibly removes the man to the side of the stage, then returns to his microphone to attempt to finish his joke.
So anyway, I'm in the supermarket, and this pinhead walks up to me.
The strange man interrupts again. JP is now totally fed up, walks over to the man. Oh, face. The strange man is not feeling very dizzy, and slowly drifts into its way.
I got the friend speech from a girl the other day, you know. Are you women getting together and figuring out, like, the best wording for this speech? Because, you know, I felt like I was being read my rights by a police officer.
Mr. Sousa?
Yeah, that's right.
Mr. Chris Sousa?
Yeah.
Do you know Miss Emily Smith?
Yeah, I do.
And how do you know Miss Smith?
We went out on a date last night.
Uh-huh. And how do you think that went?
I think it went pretty well.
How little you know, sir? How little you know? Are you aware that you grossed her out totally during the date?
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, apparently you spit a phlegm ball into your soup during the appetizer.
Yes, did she see that?
Well, apparently she did see it, sir. I didn't see it. It also says here, you had a piece of liver stuck in your... Don't try to fix it now, sir. It's not working. Liver stuck in your teeth all night. Came back from the bathroom with a urine stain on your pants, I see.
No, that was not a urine stain. I leaned against the sink.
Yeah, sure. We've all leaned against the sink, haven't we, sir? Seems you got a little touchy-feely after the date.
I was not going that fast.
Do you know how fast you were going, sir?
No.
Could you step away from the microphone, sir? Thank you. I've been sent here to advise you of your rights. You have the right to remain a friend, and only a friend. Nothing you say or do can change your mind in this fact. You have the right to see other people if you cannot afford to see other people, some may be provided by Miss Smith. Do you understand these rights, sir?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand these rights, sir?
Yes, officer.
Okay. Could you hold out your wrist, sir?
Why?
Just hold out your wrist, sir.
Why?
If you could just hold out your wrist, sir, all will be made apparent.
Why?
Just hold out your wrist, sir. Just hold it out there. Just put it right out there. Just hold his wrist out there.
Ow!
I'm going to let you go with a slap on the wrist this time, sir. Try not to let it happen again.
Look, I want to know what this is all about.
It's just a comedy skit, sir.
Oh, that's right.
And they really wowed him at the cafe with their latest song.
Is that a little song we wrote? There's a little song we wrote.
Are we doing that now? I don't remember the words.
You want to do it?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay.
You want to do it?
There's a little song we wrote. I said that 3 times already, but this is a little song we wrote.
For those of you who are not paying attention, it is a little song we wrote.
All right, here's a little song I wrote.
the street when a pit bull jumped up and bit off my nuts. I wasn't feeling very manly. Losing my nuts didn't help. I was walking down the street when someone cut off my head. I'd been feeling kind of frantic. Losing my head didn't help. We were walking down the street when somebody killed us. We weren't feeling very lively. And the end didn't help.
That was pretty interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Howard, you saw Chris and JP, didn't you?
I was up at Nick's when they were there, and they killed him. The audience loved it. They were very, very good.
Seemed it.
The song sounds like they killed him. That's neither here nor there, so...
So how are sports looking for us, Howard?
Well, homecoming has come and gone here at the University of Rhode Island, but part of it, the football game against the Maine Bears, lasted quite a bit longer than anyone could have anticipated. More on that in a moment, but first, the final score. Rhode Island 52, Maine 30. The Rams won for the fourth consecutive time in what turned out to be the longest game in NCAA history. This contest lasted 3 hours and 52 minutes, eclipsing the previous record by 6 minutes. In this game, offense was the story. Darren Rizzi caught Steve Holland's only touchdown pass of the afternoon, but the Rams did most of their damage on the ground. Dario Highsmith and Sean Donovan rushed for 2 touchdowns each, and Kevin Quinn, John Newsom, and Mark Swiftstack had 1 apiece. The Rhode offense totaled 622 yards against a Bear defense that has certainly seen better days. And this total of 622 yards easily eclipsed the previous school record of 585 set against Connecticut in 1985. And just in case you were wondering, the owners of the NCAA's longest game record before this homecoming afternoon, you guessed it, URI and Maine. The final score of that one, 58-55 in a 6 overtime contest in 1982. In field hockey action, Rhode Island defeated St. Joseph's 2-0 on October 19th. The big story in this one was Andrea Gomez, who scored both goals, her 13th and 14th, en route to setting URI's single-season scoring record. On the 20th and 23rd of the month, the Rams were not as fortunate, losing to Massachusetts and Yale, respectively. These losses dropped the Rams to 6-9 overall and 1-2 in the Atlantic 10. Turning to men's soccer and one of the hottest athletic teams at URI, October 18th saw the Rams defeat Temple 2-1 on an overtime goal by Brian Bradley. On the 20th, it was Bradley again who scored the game-winning goal with 6 minutes remaining in the second overtime to help Rhode Island pass St. Joseph's 3-2. Then on the 23rd, Rhode Island won its 3rd consecutive game and its 4th in its last 5 outings, overcoming an early 2-0 deficit when Chris Simon scored the game-winning goal with 12 minutes remaining. URI beat Boston College in this one 3-2. Their record now is at 6-1 and 4-3 in the Atlantic 10. The women's soccer team also has enjoyed some recent success, defeating Stony Brook 2-1 on October 19th, thereby raising their overall record to 6-7-2. It was a tough weekend on the URI volleyball court. The Rams won a tough one against George Washington in 5 games on Friday night the 18th, but then lost in their next 2 outings to Pittsburgh and Hofstra, both in 3 games. The Lady Spikers then went on to win their next game on the 23rd of October in a tough 4-game match against Northeastern. Rhode now stands at 13-7 overall and 3-0 in the Atlantic 10. And finally, in women's tennis, Rhode Island lost to Fairfield 5-4, dropping their overall record to 7-4.
7-4, wow. That's not too good, huh?
It's not that bad.
It's a winning record. And I guess the sailing team headed to France a couple of days ago, but by the time our viewers see this, it'll be a couple of weeks. And let's see if they can bring back the World Championship back to URI once again.
I hope so.
So.
Have a good chance.
Well, I guess that's all the time we have for right now.
That's it.
We'll see you for the 4th edition of URI TV's Campus Beat.
Into AB. See ya.
It was a tough weekend for URI. They were doing strange things.
Everybody coming into it?
I know, really.
here. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, baby, you and me.
Did you unbutton my shirt without me knowing?
Yes, it is.
Oh, God, that's a good shot. Tape off right now. Whoa! I like that. That was the
I have to pee.
graphics going bye-bye.
Thank you. Is my mic still on? Is my mic still on?
I have to pee.
This mic's not live.
Don't forget to wipe. Whoa, too dark. Too dark.
I can't see.